Hey guys, in this episode we're going to discuss the film Blockers. We're going to talk about how John Cena did in his comedy debut and compare this film to other comedies we've seen this year. This is episode 29 of the Reel-ists Podcast. Hey guys, welcome back.
You resisted.
I tried not to say it, but it just seems so natural to say welcome back.
From a little musical
Yeah, from our
break.
little musical break, our little intro song from DJ Apnick. Just want to shout him out real quick.
Casey forgot.
We didn't forget you,
We didn't
DJ.
forget.
We still appreciate it. I'm Donnie.
And I'm Oscar.
And our producer Ruben is here. Hi.
Translation.
What?
Translation.
Konnichiwa. So, damn. Sorry.
Wow.
Didn't mean to drop that.
I was only like 2 minutes into
I just want to say to the listeners, your lovely host Donnie here, he's feeling a little under the weather. So if I sound a little not myself, it's because I'm just recovering from a cold. But the show must go on, right?
If you're listening, just go ahead and shout. You got this, Donnie. You can do this.
Give me a little encouragement, guys. It's a rough one. It's a rough one this week, but we're gonna make it through. We got two great films we want to review. We want to talk about this week. Before we get into our first one, just some light housekeeping. Want to just once again thank all of our listeners for listening, I guess, and for sharing us with
Housekeeping.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Thank you for that. Housekeeping.
Saving some time, some post editing.
There you go. I'm sure he'll appreciate that. But definitely want to keep encouraging you guys to continue to spread the word, continue to share us with everyone you know, encourage people to listen, and just, have them reach out to us. We're on social media. We're on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook at the Reel-ists Podcast, REELISTS, no dash. And we're on every podcast platform available. So
Absolutely.
Please keep spreading the word.
Always keep spreading. We can't thank you enough for listening, and we can't ask for more. So
From the bottom of our hearts,
keep interacting with us, guys.
Debajo de las corazones.
De abajo de los corazones.
Sí,
there you go.
Gracias.
That's what he said.
Amigo.
He said it perfectly, guys.
Thank you. And remember to tune in every Thursday because we are always putting out new episodes on Thursdays. And
what is the Reel-ists Podcast, Donnie?
Oh my gosh, it's so funny that you asked. Oscar, let me tell you. Well, the Reel-ists Podcast is where we review films and consider how certain scenes and aspects tie into real life.
So you guys just have a different perspective on movie reviews then, right?
I mean, well, like I said, we...
Okay, you are ready for follow-ups. Okay.
If you were... No, I was not. Thanks for putting me on the spot. Always appreciate it. What was your question?
I don't know. I was just trying to make you reiterate what the podcast is all about.
I mean, pretty much, we review the film, we go through it and kind of talk about our favorite parts and stuff, but we also look at it from a realistic standpoint. So we always are discussing, oh, that scene wouldn't have really happened in real life, or if I was in that situation, I would have handled that situation like this, or that happened to my cousin, and when that happened to her, she did not react like that actress did.
That felt like an acrimony shout out.
I mean, I wasn't thinking that. I really wasn't. I promise you, but.
You set it up in that way.
I did
I guess maybe because that was our last.
I did feel my head kind of bobble a little bit. My neck snapped.
Because that was just because it was our last week's episode.
My eyes rolling. Well, we're not on last week's movie, Oscar. We're on this week's movie, okay? And this week's movie
is
Blockers.
Why did that feel like you inserted that after?
Well, you and Ruben kept debating about what the movie was called. Ruben,
no. Well, I mean, kind of.
Ruben said it was Blockers, and you said it was just Blockers.
It's just Blockers in quotation marks. I don't know why, but
in quotation.
Yeah, that's how the movie theater had it when we went to go see it.
Did it?
Yeah.
I just saw a rooster and then Blockers.
No.
Yeah,
I didn't see the poster of it, but it was like They printed out something. I forgot what it was.
It's a typo.
Oh, well.
Just kidding.
All I know is it's blockers officially.
Okay.
That is how the movie
There is a
being
picture
promoted.
of a chicken in front of it, though. So I
So-
guess in our
take that.
minds we're supposed to take it as blockers. Do you guys
So-
like that sound?
It
Does
sounds
it sound
accurate.
like a chicken?
Yeah,
Sound like a
I
rooster?
mean, I know what it is, so
Okay.
I'll give you credit for that.
Sweet. All right.
You're gonna get a credit at the end of this episode. Chicken voiced by.
Right. In our end credits. Oscar, what did you think of blockers?
Oh,
I'm not going to do that. That was the last time, I promise. I swear.
My thoughts on the movie overall is that it's a fun ride. I can't relate to those characters either as a parent or as a kid in that being that situation. Our prom night was vastly different than that. We only stayed at one location the entire time. We didn't go like from one place to the other because it was getting lame or whatever they had. But it was fun because you kind of know what the plot is. So it's not necessarily about like being hooked on the plot. It's more of like just enjoying the craziness that's about to happen, which is what makes this a comedy movie.
Right.
So for those reasons, I was entertained. I wasn't laughing nonstop, and the jokes that I did get, they weren't. I can't stop laughing from that joke. But I mean, it was entertaining. I think the performances were great. I believed that they were the parents of those kids. There was some chemistry in that regards. Some things that I'm like, okay, realistically,
Right.
realistically, yeah, let's put a question mark on that. But
So, IMBD says that 3 parents try to stop their daughters from having sex on prom night.
that's
Pretty straightforward.
Pretty straightforward.
Pretty cut and dry.
And then
Before we go on, just want to throw out our
oh my god, don't spoil it.
thank you very much. God, I was
Maybe next time I should switch it and be like, oh my god, don't spoil
Hey,
it.
bro, don't spoil it.
We start
Maybe
switching
we
it
should
up.
start doing that one. I wanted to say something else other than bro, but we can't say that.
Oh. We're just going R-rated on this episode.
Well,
No,
hey, it's an R-rated movie, right?
is it or is it PG? No, it's R.
It is.
It's R.
It is.
It's rated R. I realized.
Come on, man. All the stuff we saw in that.
That's
film.
why I'm like, okay, wait, never mind.
I liked the film. To give you my initial thoughts, I knew it was, I knew the plot was going to be pretty straightforward, and it was just going to be this kind of crazy night of like these parents trying to stop all their daughters from losing their virginity, and they were going to get into like these crazy situations and see all these like outlandish like antics and things like that. So
That realistically,
no, it wouldn't
Right.
have happened like that.
cars.
So
flipping and burning.
first of all, okay, it's prom night, right? Woo, prom night. So
Wow.
they're getting ready. They're all going out. And then the 3 main girls are like, "Oh yeah, let's like do it. Let's like lose our virginity."
which is believable.
Which a lot of teenagers do that.
Mm-hmm. Do exactly.
Do. Or they do plan on that, or that does go down on prom night. And then the parents find out about it
In
right?
a funny way.
Right. Through the girl's laptop because she leaves it
Yeah.
open. Which, first of all, let's talk about that right there. If I had my phone connected to my laptop, I would not just be leaving my laptop open for my parents to stroll in and see.
But they were bonded. They were very
Her and her mom?
close, supposedly.
they were pretty close, but still, I'm
Right. I'm sure that's
some
something
things my
that
parents just don't
you
get to
don't,
see.
yeah. And I think that's probably one of those exceptions where it's like, I may be close with you, mom, but you should not be reading my text messages for this conversation kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah, she should have put it away. First of all, my thing is here, does it not go to sleep? Because it was a while that she was away.
Yeah, from when she left the laptop to when the parents came back into the room.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that laptop must have,
She was like,
sleep
I
well
don't
turned off
right.
or something. Did they take off to the prom? But like when I can't remember when the parents were looking at the laptop and reading all the messages, they were gone, right? They were in the limo at this point.
Yeah. They took off.
Okay.
Yeah. They were just.
That makes sense.
They
I
were-
was gonna say because I was like, I feel like a lot of parents, if they found out that their children were like had made that kind of pact or promise, they would have just like not let their kid go to prom, right?
That's true.
I mean,
Which
as harsh
they
as that
would've.
maybe it would have been, but like, I feel like a lot of parents were like, "Oh, you plan on doing that? No, you don't."
They would have stopped it had they been there. Yeah, for sure.
Sorry, I took a cough drop. I thought it would work.
Uh-oh. I'm taking it over, guys. So I'll speak on Donnie's behalf.
Yeah, right. Oscar, you got this. I'm throwing your way.
Donnie hates this movie.
No.
Negative 5 out of 5.
I don't hate it. I thought it was really funny. There were a lot of scenes that were pretty funny. Like Ruben said, like I didn't walk out of this like with my side aching, like, oh my gosh, haha, like that was the funniest thing ever.
Right.
But it did have like funny parts and funny moments. I think that one of the reasons why it wasn't like the funniest of movies, right away, like as soon as you kind of the plot of the story, I immediately thought of like American Pie, which I know you and Ruben haven't seen before, but like it was the same premise. Like they had vowed it was going to be prom night, and they had like it was like 4 guys, and they were all like best friends, and they vowed to lose their virginities on prom night. But the difference with that one is like it was just
without parents.
Without
really.
parents. So it was just from the point of view of all the guys, and they were, it shows them like all their different schemes on how they think they're going to lose their virginity. Whereas this one, the whole thing is like most of it, like half of it is like from the point of view of the parents, and then the other half of it is from the girls. So.
I would say, I mean, it's like a quarter more so than half, I think. Because, I mean, you really follow the parents. And then when you get to the location, that's when you kind of see what the kids are doing. It's not like, there was the only time you really follow the kids when they were in the limo, when they were getting from next destination to like next plot device, next.
Right.
Like,
I mean,
setup.
showing like from, limo to prom, and then
A little bit of prom.
a little bit of prom.
Parents
to
left, and the other
back
parents
to
arrived.
the limo.
Yeah.
And then limo to like the hotel room? Is that where
No,
they
the
went?
party. The house party.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
But, I mean, this movie, I can't compare it to that movie, American Pie. But I'll compare it to what we recently seen, Game Night.
Mm-hmm.
I think these movies have starting to show that their premise doesn't have to be something that special. Like, it doesn't have to be anything more so than just a simple premise that gets out of hand in the same way The Hangover and This Is Us and Superbad. No, not This Is Us. That's the show. This is the end. This is the end.
Wow. This is the end, yes.
Yes. And a lot of those, comedies, even Game Night, it's just a very straight premise that takes an unrealistic turn to some degree, which is for us very bad because a lot of those things we saw would not happen. Well, maybe I don't even know if we can say it would not happen, or if we feel like most people would not make those same decisions. I don't know how many
Talking
parents.
about the parents?
Yeah, I don't know from just the start. I don't know how many parents will actually follow their kids. There's more parents that just be upset waiting at home,
Right.
waiting at 2 a.m. for them to get through the door and be like, "Why'd you come home so late?" I could see that more. Obviously, that's not an entertaining movie, but yeah, I could see some of the things that they did in the movie passable. Like, I'd be like, okay, yeah, I can see them going to the house party and trying to blend in and they're looking like a fool. I could see those kinds of things.
Mm-hmm. So speaking of the parents, the parents were played by Leslie Mann, John Cena, and Ike Barinholtz. As far as we know, this was John Cena's like first kind of comedy film that he's done. How'd you think he did?
I liked it because he gave that charisma that he was like, yeah, sure, he's all, muscular and stuff, but it never was like an attitude of like, I run this place. It was more of just like, he felt like a dad. Like, I honestly felt like he was giving that vibe of like a dad who was just intentionally just trying to do the best for his daughter, and at the same time trying to, some kind of life with their friends' parents and stuff like that, or her daughter's friends' parents.
I thought that like because he is John Cena, this big wrestler, like buff, muscular dude, and I thought his character would have been a little more, I guess, reflective of that. But his character was pretty like you said, like he was a dad, and it was kind of more on the passive side. I feel like,
yeah,
where I feel like Ike Barinholtz's character, he was more like, oh, you're not gonna do this. Like he was kind of trying to call the shots, but him and Leslie Mann were like not listening pretty much,
right?
So I thought that was kind of surprising, but I thought John Cena was really funny in this one, and it makes sense because at first I was like, oh, I don't know, like I don't know how he's gonna do in like a comedy or like just movies in general. It's always kind of like not weird, but like when you see someone come from like the like sports world into film. But you have to remember like wrestling is like all about acting and theatrics and entertainment value.
Right.
So it's not. I can see why it's not such a stretch for him to like go do a movie. It's kind of like you're doing a movie when you enter that ring every Friday night, on WWE, but in a different way. But I thought he did good. I thought he was pretty funny.
Yeah, for sure. I was entertained by it. If anything, he definitely is a runner-up for favorite character of the movie.
Really?
Like in my mind, kind of like one that I would say was like a standout. Not that the thing is, there wasn't anything that he did necessarily that will wow you or surprise you necessarily. It was just more of he was a team player, and by being the team player, it made it more entertaining to watch.
Yeah.
Like you never felt like he was going to take over this movie and it was going to be, him with his co-stars. It always felt like it was always together that they were.
Like, yeah, they were an ensemble.
Yeah. I feel like if it was someone like Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, I felt like that one you would feel like he would slowly take over the role. Like he would slowly be the one, by himself at specific times and things like that. Or separating and he's doing his own thing. I feel like I could see it happening with, like The Rock, but yeah, with John Cena, it felt natural.
Yeah, I liked it. I really was into Leslie Mann's character too, and I mean, if you've seen other films she's been in, or like Judd Apatow films, she kind of always plays the, like caring, sweet mother, but like kind of has a dirty potty mouth throughout the film. It's not like she's ever playing a super different character. But it's something that I just feel like it just works for her. Like, because she comes off like she's just so polished and, like, very pretty and, like, sweet. But, like, when she's, like, dropping F-bombs and, like, getting, like, getting really angry, it just comes off as really kind of, like, cutesy. And obviously it comes off as comical, which is why I think it works for her in a lot of films. Like in Knocked Up or This Is 40. So I was pretty into it.
I feel like you can't take her serious. I feel like if she was in like a dramatic role, you probably wouldn't be able to watch it.
You know what? I don't know that I could, just because we've seen her in like I said, like so many like comedies.
To me, it's same for Ike as well. I mean, both of those two characters. I don't want to say typecast, but I definitely would have a difficult time in believing them playing a more serious, darker character if ever.
Have you seen him in anything else?
Mindy Project.
Oh, okay.
And he's very more comical in physical comedy kind of way in Mindy Project.
Right.
He's not. Yeah, he totally plays a different character than what he plays in the movie Blockers, but there are some similarities in more of like he doesn't have. He may not be the most intelligent, or may have made the best decisions, but at the same time, he truly cares for those that he was around. So like in the show, it was Mindy. He always like cared to make sure he had. He would try to have her back. In this movie, it was his daughter. Just wanted to make sure he can win his daughter back. So, I mean, there's some kind of similarities there, but generally they were two different characters. So, but one was physical comedy, and this one wasn't as much in this movie. He had more like line dialogue comedy, which is nice. But
speaking of physical comedy, I mean, this film did have like a good amount of that. You had like John Cena, at one point like chugging beer from his butt and.
The nude scenes.
Or all the girls. Yeah, there's not a lot, but there was nudity. There was, like, full frontal nudity. And then you had, like, the girls who were, like, had been drinking and they were, like, throwing up in the limo.
Oh, man, I can't.
Which was just, I know, you, like, almost started throwing up yourself when you saw that.
Because, there are some times when the vomit looks fake or you can feel like it's not really coming out of the mouth. But I guess the way they shot this one felt real. And then, like, the mixture of, like, the vomit, I don't know if you even...
Oh, yeah.
Like, there's all like chunks of stuff, and I was like, "That looks real." Like that,
yeah,
looked like
like it smelled
like green slime or something like that.
It did. So like all those things, like, so does that make you? I mean, because obviously a lot of it they put in for just kind of shock value and make you go like, So like, do you like that when you're watching a comedy film, or are you just like, I get what you're trying to do here, but it's not really doing much for me?
I'm not a fan. Well, I mean, I enjoy it, but I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of physical comedy. The only times that I like it is when it's too obvious, kind of thing. I don't want to say almost slapstick comedy. I think I enjoy more so than situations like this with like or the car catching on fire and and things that I just feel like it's there to say, you know, let's get a punch out of this.
Right.
Like I think, like for example, like comparisons of movies that I think of that the comedy is obvious. You know, it's gonna be physical comedy. Cat in the Hat.
Love Cat in the Hat.
That one's that whole Fun with Dick and Jane, Pink Panther. Like those movies are movies that I always get a kick out of with its physical comedy, because it's obvious. Like you know that's what it's gonna be. And I guess even like cartoons, like Looney Tunes and stuff like that. You know those are the comedies you are getting. So it works in that favor.
Or even like Peter Rabbit, like what we saw.
Yeah, or like Peter Rabbit,
like physical comedy.
Yeah, but I feel like these rated R movies, the physical comedy, a lot of the times they're like more getting a joke out necessarily than setting it up for a humorous situation. I think, like, to me, the part that I really enjoyed were moments where they were in a situation that's just like, you need to get out of the situation. It kept getting worse. Like the scene with John Cena in one of the daughter's boyfriend's parents' house, and then they were playing that new.
Oh yeah, they were blindfolded. And
like that one was a good comedy because you're just like, you put yourself in a bad situation, you need to get out. But there was some like the drinking the beer from the butt that I didn't like necessarily. I was like, okay, that's not entertaining really. I don't know where the humor would come out of that.
Okay, Ruben thought it was funny.
Maybe because I don't drink. I don't know. Maybe that doesn't cross.
And you don't like nudity, so maybe those are like two things. Like, yeah, just everything you don't like.
I mean, it wasn't even that nudity. It wasn't like he was like, you know, completely naked for
It did show a lot, though.
It showed more than I thought it was going to show.
That's true.
It
definitely passed the movies that I have on my list of nudity, of where it's at in nudity.
I know, right? It did show more than I thought, but it didn't steer me away or take me out of the moment or make me go, oh, that was just so unnecessary. Like there are films like
the vomit to me felt like unnecessary. Maybe one person vomiting, but everyone else.
Yeah, I mean, even the vomiting, the one person vomiting didn't do that, but when they all started doing it, then I was like, okay, maybe that's a little much.
Right.
Like, maybe, you know, because that didn't really make me laugh. That made me go, oh my God, and like cover my mouth. But maybe that's, you know, they want to get those moments to the audience too, and like yeah, like we were saying, like, yeah, they want to shock you. They want to make you laugh and then shock you and make you laugh some more. So, but there wasn't all laughs. I mean, this movie had some heartfelt moments, especially towards the end. One of my favorite scenes. I'm not gonna say that.
Okay. Because
I don't want to go into favorite scenes, but the scenes that pretty much like every daughter had with the parent. So like John Cena, the moment John Cena had with his daughter when he tried to stop her from, you know, doing it, and she like, you know, he kicked in the hotel door and like threw the prom date against the wall, and then they had this like kind of heartfelt moment, and you know, he was like, "I'm your dad," and she's like, "You're a great dad," and you know, a tear was
shed.
Like
that, coach. Like, I love that dynamic between them two. They had a sports-like relationship that they used.
Yeah, she was very like patting him on the back, like, you know, kind of man up, dad. Like
when they like bumped chest bumped, and and he was like,
he was like, yeah, we're not gonna do that anymore. That was really funny to me. Just like those little jokes.
Right, exactly. When it's an obvious kind of thing to me, the kind of humor is the way it works.
Obviously, we all, I'm sure, liked the scene where the girl who turned out to be lesbian, the moment she had with her dad, because throughout the whole film she kind of blamed her dad for her parents' divorce and that he didn't care about her, and he really does care about her and went through great lengths.
Yeah.
We saw throughout the film to like be there for her, and she was able to confide in him that something that she was the
first.
holding.
He was the first to find out or officially get confirmation, I guess.
Yeah, and he was pretty
before the friends, which is
right, which was cool, and I was like, oh, that's sweet. And then Leslie Mann, she was in her daughter's hotel room, and she was gonna try to stop them from having sex, and she ended up not.
I mean, if we want to throw a, I'm gonna start. We should create this now, a unrealistic stamp in this movie.
That would be it.
That would be
the moment,
because
the most unrealistic.
I honestly just feel like if you're there and you would hear slight movements enough for you to feel like someone's there.
Yeah.
For them to be completely
she was
oblivious.
Under the bed, and then she like
rolled to the window,
and then did a tumble roll behind the couch, and then another roll behind
the TV,
which shocked her.
Yeah.
and then she kind of like fell to the ground. Yeah, I get it. So like all these little things, for sure you would hear. Like in real life, you would have heard or at least sensed another person in the room, right?
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have been that into my partner that I'm not kind of looking like. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I just feel like I'm always kind of gazing around. I'm always kind of looking up and down and left and right.
Personally,
so I feel like I would have caught someone.
I get what the scene was trying to imply in that she learned to respect her daughter's decision, in a sense, and be able to allow her to live her life for this moment. I honestly feel like she should have got punished and should have just been stuck on the bottom and had to listen it through. All of that. Like she should have got punished? They obviously they didn't have to show like her, through all that. But I feel like honestly, she went through all this trouble. It was like one of those lessons you have to be like, great, now I can't share this with my daughter because that's going to be awkward and uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. But it's just like you should have had to deal with it. You got what you wanted, and look what you're getting. You're getting yourself in a situation where you didn't have to be, but you put your own like experiences or emotions in the way, and that caused you to make a dumb decision. That would have been interesting for her to see. I get this. I know this was a comedy, so that wasn't what they were going for.
Right.
But that would have just been nice. I mean, obviously, it would have been more of you just knowing she's had to stay in there throughout the entire time, and then that, like, because the friends, not the friends, but the daughter and the boyfriend leave to go back to the party. Mm-hmm. So I mean, then she could have walked out and be like, "Yeah, that was uncomfortable."
Yeah.
I still had that. All three of them walked away with like, "Yeah, we were dumb for doing all this, but we love our daughters." So
yeah.
So it still would have been the same ending.
True. I do like it towards the end that they all three were like, I mean, there was some revelation, and especially with like Leslie Mann, like like I said, she let her daughter, go through with it. And at first I was like, yeah, no, like if I was a parent, I would have stopped them.
Really? Oh, damn.
But then I think back to what John Cena's wife was saying, like a little earlier in the film, where she was like, when she was talking to John Cena, and she was like, what would you have done if, how would you have felt if your dad would have tried to stop you from losing your virginity? And like, I was just thinking like, dang, like, I don't know. For some reason that kind of stood out to me when she said that.
Personally,
because it's so easy to, as a parent, like, and I don't have kids, so I don't know, but like, I can just imagine like,
all the comments from
like,
everyone.
like my nieces or nephews or younger sister, like you want to, protect them and coddle them and shelter them from everything in the world. But then you have to like always put yourself back in like their shoes and go, okay, I was 16 or I was 18 or whatever. So I don't know. I'm like kind of torn on that.
But first of all, you're not even the parents for those kids.
I know. But still,
you have that one is more of you're just either like you shouldn't have gone through that, or that one's tough for sure. We don't have kids, so we can't really give that perspective.
It's hard to say. I mean, whether she should have whether Leslie Mann should have walked away or not, up for debate. But
that's where everyone that is a parent that listens can let us know. There you go. That's how you squeeze that in there. But
if you were in under the bed, and
I mean, like, I personally at that point, I would have felt it would have been worse to get caught. I know it would have been uncomfortable as heck to have to hear that. Like, you would have to zone out or like stop listening, but then not fall asleep, and to the point where you might get caught snoring. Or
so between the choice of you either sneaking out successfully or getting caught to like disrupt it,
right? Like, no, well, yeah. So I guess, I mean, my assumption would be I'm gonna get caught if I try to leave. Mm-hmm. Like, I think it's a low possibility that I'm gonna pull what she did and get away with it, and no one.
That wouldn't really happen.
Even when the door opened, I feel like that door hotel doors are always loud enough
and squeaky.
That they would have been like, what the hell is that? And then they would have walked out, and then she would have saw her mom.
Yeah.
Like, I just feel like it was unrealistic for her to get away with that. But in that situation, it's either do you go out and risk and make it, awkward and stop this sex from happening, which is probably still going to happen. It just may not happen that night. So What did you really stop?
That's true. Which is why I feel like it made sense for her to be like, okay, like she's getting ready to go off to college. She's going to make her own decisions. Like, I can't really stop her from doing what she's going to do regardless.
Yeah.
And she said, I mean, she was like, he seems like a nice guy, and, they seemed really into each other and blah blah blah, and obviously, there was protection. So, I mean, not to get too deep into like the ethics of it, and but it was kind of like nice.
Yeah. Honestly, as a parent, I think I would have liked this relationship that my daughter would be in if it was a real life scenario. It's enough to be like she can do what she wants. I think it would be obviously different if we knew he was a bad influence and stuff, because at that point you're trying to just stop her from making bad decisions rather than trying to control her life. Because what the characters were doing, they were trying to control their daughters' lives and saying when you can't do something, when you can. So yeah, I think that, it's a different scenario for those that's like, I don't trust this guy or I don't trust this girl, for the other way around, versus you're not ready because I say you're not ready.
Right.
Different conversation. Absolutely.
Right. I think they all definitely had like a kind of perspective shift towards the end. And like I said, they all kind of had like a kind of heartfelt moment with each of their daughters. Or Leslie Mann, she at least just had like a revelation. So they were kind of able to be like, we can let them go and let them, they're young women now and they're going off to college and they're going to live their own lives. And the world will still go on. Right. So I think it ended nicely. I thought it was
did they really learn their lesson, though? I know it was more of a comedy, like last punch for the day, last joke of the movie. But when they were freaking out because they were like, we're going to do this crazy going all the way to UCLA.
Oh, like road trip, and we're going to like do drugs. Like, they were like naming all or like using emojicons for all the.
Like, did they learn anything? That was. I get what they were going for that, comedy, but at the same time, it's like, did we really just watch a movie where they didn't learn anything? So that was a question mark.
I feel like I don't know.
Because they were ready to react. If they never gotten the text of like, just kidding, then...
Yeah, but that's, but they were, at first, it was just like, they want to lose their virginity, but now they're like, it was like this sex-fueled, drug-fueled road trip, like, I think it was a little like next level.
But didn't you? This whole entire movie, you witnessed your kid making good decisions, if anything, good decisions. So it's like, I don't know. At that point, I maybe I need a better parent.
I guess we'll see in Blockers too.
2 blockers.
2 blockers. 2 block or not 2 block. I don't know. I'd be down for a sequel. I don't know what it would really. They're all going to team up and go like. Try to like they're all in college and they're gonna like go to they're not all going to the same university.
No,
because
it would be 2 scenarios where the daughters are now the parents and the grandparents are the parents.
I wouldn't want that then.
Or
I want to see the same cast. So
or they're gonna be blocking something else for like them going to overseas travels or school.
Something. Yeah, like something where they all come together again. Yeah, and they plan to do something. I'd be down for that. I'd be ready for that sequel.
So, you hear that?
Yeah.
You hear that, studios? I got an idea.
Right.
I could pin the script.
You should. Why not? I got excited when you were.
We'll talk more about this after, because it's not movie related, but it is movie related, but it's not Blockers related. But we'll hold that discussion for another time.
Oh, okay. Okay, well, with that said, what was your favorite scene from this film?
Okay, my favorite scene was the whole them finding out what their plan is for what the daughter's plans are, and getting in the vehicle and trying to go stop them, and the whole interaction of them like just like freaking out, and they keep getting like making like just unrational decisions when they're in the car, and like John Cena was like pushing the window down.
Oh yeah.
And they were just like, how are you doing that? That whole interaction. And then when I don't even know his character, but Ike's character, when he pushes out Leslie.
Oh yeah, just pushes her out the car.
Yeah, like those just things like that.
Oh my gosh, like he full on just like shoved her out of the car. He's like, I'm so sorry.
But all those I think that entire scene.
His name was Hunter.
So
their names were Lisa, John Cena was Mitchell, and Ike was Hunter. Lisa, Mitchell, and Hunter.
So when Mitchell and that whole interaction though, but that whole scene I think was definitely one of my favorites. Yeah, that's mine.
I think mine was probably when Mitchell was in the house and they were doing the blindfolded nude, like trying to find each other in the dark, and then Hunter came in and
I would hate to be
and then they were basically saying like, I mean, not to get too graphic, but they were like the blindfolded guy was like, touch me, and Hunter was telling Mitchell, touch it, do it, And Mitchell was like, I'm not doing it. And that whole exchange of like, do it. No, I'm not going to do it. That whole exchange went on for like quite a while. And I thought that was pretty
different.
Like,
yeah, because they kept,
and they were like subtitling it. And then like at some point weren't like, it wasn't even subtitling exactly what he was saying or something like that. Like something along the lines of.
No, I get that.
That was my favorite scene. That was pretty funny. Not because it was like the most graphic scene or anything, but
dirty
no,
dirty Donnie,
not dirty Donnie. No, not even. It's
Diana.
Just
you've been dethroned.
Oh my gosh, get out, get out of here. No, but yeah, that was my favorite. So, all right. Well, final real score. What are you gonna give Blockers?
3 out of 5.
Oh, okay, that was pretty quick. Didn't have to think about that. Okay,
that's how it works, man. You gotta produce your score as you talk about the movie.
Okay.
No, but 3 out of 5 for the reasons that it was entertaining. I did enjoy it. I did enjoy this adventure that they went on. I did find it funny. I wasn't sitting there bored in the sense of like I'm losing interest. I knew where it was gonna end. I knew at some point they were gonna still accept their daughters, regardless of how it went out. So it was that predictable side of it. Yeah, but I think the things that I would find the negative side are just more of my personal taste, more so than the movie itself. I mean, there were some things with the movie, but 3 out of 5 because it's definitely a little bit above half, but I don't think it's one that I will want to see down the road again.
Okay.
Maybe a sequel, different story, but like this movie itself, maybe not.
Yeah. All right. Well, I mean, I'm pretty not to like copy you, but let me copy you. I'm too going to give it a 3 out of 5. I thought it was a good film. I laughed. I thought it was funny. It wasn't the funniest film I've ever seen. There was a predictability there, and you kind of knew where it was going to go. You know, but I mean, it was unlike you. I would see it again. It did entertain me, and I did like the characters, and I'd be cool for a sequel if it was the one that you
that I pitched.
Yeah, the one that you pitched. So let's get the ball rolling on that.
Watch the studio do the one you didn't like, where it's like they have kids now.
I know. I don't like that. I like the original cast
because it was like
because if you're doing that, then you got to introduce a new generation of characters.
A lot of studios have that mindset where the first one worked, so let's repeat it again. It's very rare that a movie it's like, okay, let's take what we have from the first one. They don't think
like, oh, well, it was the cast.
Specifically for comedies, though.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, no, they think audiences love this premise. Let's do another premise.
Let's roll with it.
So
let's keep on going.
Yeah,
until we can't do it anymore.
That's why we get the same kind of comedy in the sequels. I don't know about I mean, each comedy is different though. So their sequels are usually, or their remakes or spin-offs are usually the same.
Okay.
Like there was talk of Bad Dads.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Which would be the exact same thing.
Just like Bad Moms.
But now it's Dads. So it's like they think, oh, Bad Moms did well enough. Let's spin it off with Dads. It never came to like happen. It never got past. Like I don't even think it got to casting, but it was in the talks for sure.
So it's no longer.
No.
Okay.
It says right now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
And that was your studio insight.
I don't know how I'd feel about that, but
that's what I'm saying. Like I mean, they have that tendency to repeat rather than build off of.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense. Totally makes sense. Why not?
But what do we want the audience to tell us, Donnie?
Well, we want to know what you guys thought of the film. If this one kept the laughs rolling for you guys, or if it was
never
just
a parent. Like I think what we said earlier. If
can you let me finish the line? Jeez, Louise, gosh, whose episode is this?
You're sick. You don't know what you're talking about.
He's delirious. He doesn't know what he's saying. I was just gonna say if you thought it was funny, if it kept the laughs rolling for you, or if it was kind of like too predictable and not funny enough. But what did you say? Or if you're a parent and what?
What would you follow your kids this much? Would you go this great lengths to stop them from having their first one?
Or if you are a parent, have you gone to any such great lengths to stop your kid from doing anything?
You want some fun stories.
Yeah, I want to hear some good ones. I want to, whether whatever age your child is,
probably won't get as dramatic as that.
Probably
movie.
not, but it'd be cool to hear some stories. So definitely let us know if you guys have any stories. Remember, we're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Team Reel-ists. REELISTS, no dash. And remember, continue to spread the word on our podcast. And we are available on, I'm just saying, we haven't said them in a while. but I like to kind of challenge myself. We're on Stitcher. We're on SoundCloud. We're on Google Play. We're on iTunes. We're on YouTube. We're on Spotify. And we are at our website, Reel-ists Podcast.libsyn.com.
Did he miss one, Ruben?
Nope.
There you go. Look at you passing the test.
Yeah.
Now saying in Spanish. Just kidding.
No, I'm not going to try.
Check out our Spanish podcast.
I'm not going to try, but any last words, Oscarito?
No, but thank you everyone for listening.
Thanks, guys. See you next time.